A lot of people confuse being trash with being poor. I'm here to tell you they're not the same. All right, being poor means you don't have a lot of money. Being trash means you go into debt for fireworks. Happy to be here. Good-looking crowd here tonight. Good-looking people here. Yes. Now, to be fair, I am 6'9", so I do see people at the ideal selfie angle. So you might not be as good-looking as I think you are, is all I'm saying. But don't let that ruin your smile, because it could be worse. The opposite of the ideal selfie angle is the raw deal, all right? That's how everyone sees someone this tall. Every time I meet someone new, it's 8 chins hello. Like, it's not a flattering thing. Everyone wants to be tall, but you don't think about the logistics, right? Nobody thinks about going on a date and having the entirety of your nostrils in view, okay? Like, if there's a bat in the cave, date's over early. No one thinks about these things. Like, what do I get for being this tall? I can see the top of every refrigerator and a couple of bald spots. Big whoop, you know? Like, it's not that great. I realized something recently, though, about selfie angles. You can tell how old somebody is by the angle they take a selfie. It's like a sundial, you know? Because young people, where are you at, young people? Clap it up if you're a young person. There you go. Some hesitant claps from young people. That's, I mean, what do you have to be happy about? You'll never afford a house, right? It's, Who needs affordable health care when you have a smile? Am I right, Gen Z? I like making fun of young people. I am myself technically a millennial. I don't identify as a millennial. It's just maybe the most millennial thing anyone's ever said. Well, say what you will about Gen Z and millennials. Say what you will about the young people. They know how to take a dang good selfie. They know how to keep that phone high and tight, baby. I don't know what happens, old people, as the sun starts to set on your life. My selfie arm gets a little tired, doesn't it? Phone gets kind of heavy. Till eventually you're 55 plus, you just rested on your stomach. What's the deal with that, you know? You're just giving up, who cares, right? How many old guy profile pictures you see online that's just a melted ice cream sandwich version of them, you know what I'm saying? Just, Martha, get my readers. I think old people got the right idea. I think we care too much as a society about the way we look online. I think it's a problem, you know, because it didn't used to be that way. I remember you growing up, your mom would snap a photo of you on vacation, develop the thing. It's just a blurry her finger and like the outline of your head, and you're just like, that's a good picture of me. Let's print 6 of those and send it to grandma, right? We don't do that anymore. Pictures aren't as rare as they used to be, right? Everyone, you don't put a picture out unless it's like perfect. You know, you gotta smooth everything out. You got the filters, you got Photoshop, gotta make it all good. You know, you gotta keep it good, right? And I didn't think it was that big a deal. I was like, well, we're vain in America. Who cares, right? Until I went to Walmart and I saw the missing persons board. And the best, most recent picture they could find of this one girl had like 3 or 4 filters on it. And I was just like, oh, honey. They're not gonna find you. You don't look like that. The police are out here searching for someone with skin as smooth as a dolphin. They're gonna find Shamu before they find you. Just saying, give the police a little something to work with, you know? Give them some identifiable features. Take a picture that's just as ugly as God made you, you know what I'm saying? Give them the mole, give them the butt forehead and the cleft chin and the acne and the overbite, you know? We don't need to smooth everything out so much. A little PSA from Seth. If you're here tonight on a date, at some point during the show, you go to the bathroom, you take a filterless selfie, send it to mom, okay? Send it to somebody. Before they take you to a second location, you take that picture, okay? I want them to find you. As the old saying goes, it's better to be homely and home than pretty and dead, all right? Too dark for dry bar? Okay, sure. A little bit about me. I grew up in a very, very small town, so I'm trash, if that wasn't clear. And people say, oh, Seth, your town couldn't have been that bad. Well, my neighbor named their kid Truxon. I really wish I made that one up. I wish that was a joke. I talked to him, I was like, dude, Truxon? That an old family name? Where'd you get that from? He's like, well, the wife and I, we really liked the name Carson. We just wanted something more manly. I see. I don't really know what I'm going to accomplish in my life, but I know I can die happy if Truxton grows up to drive a Prius. Like that. That has to happen, you know? Just rolls up, rolls the window down. It's me, Truxton. Like, I want it to happen. A lot of people confuse being trash with being poor. I'm here to tell you they're not the same, all right? Being poor means you don't have a lot of money. Being trash means you go into debt for fireworks. There's a difference. One of us had more fun, you know? People say, oh, that's just a joke, Seth. My dad used to go to the store to get groceries for the family, come back with $0 worth of groceries, $400 worth of fireworks. That's the modern equivalent of trading your last cow for magic beans. It's not fiscal responsibility, Dad. I was a little bit worried. My dad came to a show once, and I was worried he was going to be sad or offended at those jokes. Comes up to me after the show, kind of somber. He's just like, those fireworks are pretty fun, though, right? And you know, he was right, because fireworks are gorgeous when you're hungry. That is a fact. Ooh, ah, We ate weird stuff being trash. Things I didn't know were weird until I met other people, you know? Like meat cheese. We ate a lot of meat cheese. You guys, I get a lot of stares with this one. You know what I'm talking about? Meat cheese? You're gonna pretend you're better than me? Dry bar, is that what It's just meat that's had cheese injected into it. People don't have time to cook both, so you just do the meat cheese, you know? I still love it, man. I love those little hot dogs on the rollers all day. Yes! Yes! They remind me of myself. Neglected, greasy, full of cheese and sadness. I love those hot dogs. I always go grab them, you know? The other day I grabbed one and something made me laugh. They had added a safety feature to the hot dogs. They put a meat thermometer inside one of them with a little tiny sign installed pointing at it that said, "To guarantee freshness." That does not guarantee freshness. I don't need a meat thermometer. I need a meat odometer. I want to know how far this weenie has rolled. Anything over a mile, no dice, okay? Can't have my junk food able to go farther than I can. That'd be embarrassing. We did eat a lot of cheese. That was like everyone else had like grains as their big food pyramid thing. It was cheese in the Tippetts house, man. We ate cheese plates all the time. Anyone else do cheese plates? Where you take a handful of shredded cheese and sprinkle it on a plate and microwave it and eat it with a fork? That's the... Are we all talking about the same cheese plate here? Okay, we got some horrified looks and we got some of my people, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's the thing. Cheese plate was already a term for classy people, and I didn't know that until I went on a date with a classy girl. We're going out, and she's like, "Seth, let's go on a picnic. Let's get some wine. Maybe a cheese plate." And I was like, oh, my chance to cook? I'm so excited. Gonna score some points with this girl, you know? Go back to the kitchen with some swagger this time, right? You know? Hit that plate with the Fiesta blend. You gotta go with the nice bag of cheese from Walmart. Take notes, young men, all right? You can't skimp on a classy lady with Colby Jack. And there's not really a good way to learn what the word charcuterie means. But that's how I learned, you know? I was like, "Your cheese plate, madame." And she's just like, "I meant a charcuterie board, you Neanderthal." I was like, "Charcuterie? That sounds French. I think you're thinking of a European cheese plate. This is an American cheese plate right here." Yeah. Well, like I said, being trash, it really didn't have much to do with money, you know, because that's the thing. You add money to a poor person, you no longer have a poor person. You add money to a trash person, you got a trash person that owns a tiger, or they buy an amusement park just for them, or they Michael Jackson's bones. Like, they're not investing the money. And that's the thing, my dad was self-employed growing up, so we had some pretty big dips in income, you know. His best year ever, $200,000. His worst year, $19,000. Now, a normal family would have, like, I don't know, savings or something to weather that storm. But that $200,000, that was a lot of fireworks that year. That was a good year. I went blind that year. It was great. But it was interesting, you know, because we were just kind of riding this rich kid, poor kid roller coaster all grown up, you know. You get Lucky Charms, Marshmallow Mateys, Kool-Aid, Flavor Aid, Fiesta Blend, Kraft Singles, you know. Like, not good. And my parents, they had to get creative on those bad years, especially Christmas time rolling around. My parents would lie to me all the time. Like, I think it's normal to lie to your kids a little bit. Round of applause, you lie to your kids. Well, some of you were a little too enthusiastic about that. I don't know if we should be calling old Child Protective Services. Nah, man, people, Christmas rolls around, you start telling your kids a story about Santa Claus, that's fine, right? Christmas time would roll around in my house, and my dad started telling us we were Jewish. And we believed him, you believe your parents when they tell you stuff, right? And we believed him until we fact-checked him, You take the DNA test nowadays, you can't lie to your kids nowadays, we got too much technology. It came back 8%. I'm 8% Jewish. I don't think that's enough, Dad. I don't think that's enough to get out of Christmas because you weren't having a good year, 8%, that's not Jewish, that's Jew-esque. That's Jew-adjacent. Adjacent. I'm a Jewcent. And after we learned how Jewish we were, it cleared up some things in retrospect. Hindsight's 2020. Like my dad named me Seth. That's a traditionally Jewish name. But he named my younger brother Christian, which felt like a bit of an afterlife hedge. You're like not really sure how things gonna work out. Let's just play both sides a little bit, I'm pretty convinced if we had another brother, he would have been named Mohammed, just to cover those Abrahamic bases, right? At least if we had that brother, it would have made sense where we never had a family depiction. Anyway. That was the slowest burn I've ever heard in my life. Just like, oh. Yeah, and the thing that really stood out to me on the DNA test, the thing that was kind of crazy, on the top of the thing, it had in big, bold, red letters, it said I had more Neanderthal DNA than 80% of people who had taken the test. Which I felt was a hurtful way to phrase that. And it's just huge letters. It was just really shouting at me, It's like, if you're gonna read one thing on this test, if you can read. And I was confused. I'm just looking at these results over my furrowed brow and my large forehead, my underdeveloped temporal lobe. And I just said to myself, I don't see it. I've had a rough couple of years, you guys. I don't want to bring the crowd down that much. I had a rough couple of years. I actually lost my wife recently. Yeah. She didn't die, we just got divorced, so she's dead to me. But that's a minor... Oh, you guys feel a little bit betrayed after that joke. I sensed it, I felt it. You feel betrayed. Don't worry, so do I. It was interesting. She broached the subject of divorce at a restaurant. It kind of ruined that restaurant for me. I still haven't been back to Denny's. You'd think it would have been the eggs that really turned me off at Denny's, but the funny thing was we're having this conversation, not going well for me, obviously, and the waiter did not miss a beat. It was like par for the course to be sobbing openly at a Denny's. Yes, I'll take the honeymoons over my hammy. It was a pretty good divorce as far as divorces go, she actually felt bad about the money she was taking, and it's the thought that counts. I'm an optimist, She said, Seth, I feel so bad. I said, don't worry about it, it's fine. I thought I was gonna have to pay for you for the rest of my life. This is quite the discount if you look at it that way. What a bargain, A little silver lining everywhere you look. Is my heart broken or just half full? Yeah, the reason we got divorced is after 5 years of marriage, she decided she didn't want to have kids. Decided she didn't want to have kids. And that's probably for the best. It's better than having kids and not loving them, and they just grow up to be comedians. You guys got way too sad at that. You don't know my life, okay? My mom, 6'4", built like a fridge, and she loved like one too. Very cold woman. She was 18 cubic feet, my mom. That's true. That's Energy Star compliant. That's important these days. Her crisper didn't keep the eggs fresh, though. Again, who are you offended for? That's a joke about how I'm a genetic freak, all right? Have you seen the size of my head? I need a prescription hack. Jeez, like, I don't know my life. My wife took some weird things in the divorce. She took some weird things. Like we had a pride flag on the front of our house because she was bisexual. Well, she took that pride flag, and I didn't notice for probably too long. So I just had a bachelor pole, just with no flag at all, just waving, empty like my life on the front of my house for way too long. And I didn't replace the pride flag, not because I'm not an ally. I just don't need all my neighbors knowing I don't have a gun. All I'm saying is the apocalypse happens. The pride flag is the universal symbol for undefended food. Tell me I'm wrong. These are the facts. They have Twinkies, but not shotguns. You know what I'm saying? Like it's... Trying to relax a little bit these days, trying to relax. Found out I'm a little bit too tall to relax. That was a problem I ran into. Had a friend tell me, Seth, you should try one of these sensory deprivation tanks, right? And I was like, sensory deprivation, so I just don't feel anything? Why do I have to pay $100 for that? Is it a divorce simulator? I've been doing that for the last year and a half. I'm dead inside. I don't need to pay money for that. I half expected to show up and open the pod and it's just a DiGiorno's pizza and a box of tissues. It's not delivery, it's depression. And I show up to the thing and they're like, no, it's supposed to recreate the experience of being in the womb. You're supposed to feel very safe. And so I get in there, I touch the water. I was like, guys, something's wrong with this water. This is warm. This is way too warm, way warmer than my mom. I was really expecting an ice bath, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't get a hug from Frigidaire till I was 30, okay? Like, it's not... So I get in the tank, right? And the thing they really should have put on the website, it's 7 foot tall on the inside, which means I have 1.5 inches of clearance on either side of me. So I'm trying to not feel anything, but I can just feel my head and feet bumping into the walls the whole hour, just like, is this over yet, you know? Like, I'm trying to relax, I'm trying to find a little bit of peace in my life, but every time I close my eyes, I just visualize my head as like the DVD logo. Every once in a while, you just hit a corner. Wow, I changed color. How about that? 2 in a row. That's ridiculous. Oh man, trying to get back in the dating game, and things have gotten worse. I feel like with the dating apps, you know. I don't know. I went on some dates with some girls that believe some interesting stuff. You know, like I went out with a young Earth Christian. She believed that the earth was like 6,000 years old or something. I was like, tell me more about that. She said, well, dinosaur bones were put by God in the ground to test our faith. I was like, your dad works in an oil field, you mentioned earlier. I don't think these beliefs really line up with each other. And so I filter out religious girls now. I've had too many weird dates. Problem with that is it leaves me with spiritual girls. And if you don't know what a spiritual girl believes, join the club. It's just everything else. I'm pretty sure, you know, you got homeopathy and voodoo and chiropractic. Ain't nobody gonna tell me chiropractic works, okay? Like, I've spent thousands of dollars trying to fix this misshapen spine up here. It's not like I had a chiropractor come up to me after a show and he's like, well, it's real science. And I was like, no, it's not. You wasted your life. And... what's he gonna do? Not bill my insurance? I don't care. Like, and he was one of those fast-talking guys. I was like trying to get out of the conversation, right? And so I was just trying to concede. I was like, I'm sure some chiropractors are fine, but he cut me off. He cut me off on the F on fine and said, fantastic. And I was like, no. You do not get to adjust my sentence because I don't want to come back to this conversation a week from now with the same problem and owe you $50. It's a great chiropractor joke. Don't know what to tell you guys. That was, that got half the crowd. It should have gotten 150%. I've got so many weird beliefs, you know. You got essential oils, or as I call them, smelly placebos. Oh, Seth, your back hurts because you've been tall for too long? Have you tried rubbing frankincense on your butt? How about you shut up, okay? How about you stop talking, you know? Like, I'm a little bit worried. I tell these jokes. I can see some of the spiritual girls getting a little feisty with me. You know, it's just like I'm like meeting people after the show that just douse me with like lavender oil and light me on fire. Dying words. The sample size was too small to be conclusive, you know? Like, what a world! What a world! Oh man, I went on a date with a spiritual girl, and she was really into astrology, which is just what a stupid way to live. But I'm gonna subdivide all of humanity into 12 chunks. I'm so sick of girls being like, you have beautiful eyes. What a Pisces thing to say. No, it's a me thing to say, okay? Don't you give this to a fish. Like, when things were going okay, right, she says, oh, Seth, you should meet my best friend. She's a Chinese doctor. And I was like, I think you can just say doctor. I don't know why that was necessary. And she's like, no, she's white. Okay, like, she's like, she doesn't practice Western medicine. She practices Reiki energy healing. I was like, oh, so she's not a doctor. You really, you should have led with that. In fact, both words used to describe your friend were inaccurate. You should have just said, my friend is, and then I leave the date early. That's, was that on your horoscope, Aubrey, that I was leaving the date early? Because it's happening. Like, people got some weird beliefs. I love conspiracy theorists. We got any conspiracy theorists here? You're too excited. You don't know where I'm going with this joke. Why not? We got any flat earthers here? I always thought, I gotta ask, because a lot of the times I hang out in the back of the room and I can't always see them over the curvature of the planet. And you don't want to dig yourself in too deep a hole with a flat earther. You don't want to do it, because, you know, whoop, out the bottom. Like, it's not good. I think you got to ask yourself with any conspiracy, you got to ask yourself, who's making money, right? That's how you know if you got some juice to it. Who's making money on the earth secretly being flat? Landscapers? Like, that's the best I can come up with. Can you believe I charged $1,000 for leveling? Like, that's the best I got. And I had a flat earther friend. He came out to me as a flat earther. I was like, can't you just be gay? That'd be a lot easier for me to deal with. I'm a progressive guy, but I don't really think flat earthers should be able to get married or have kids. I feel like that would honestly cure some societal ills, you know, get rid of some dummies. I was like, dude, what would it take for me to convince you the Earth is indeed a sphere, besides thousands of years of math and science? Because I guess that didn't do it for you. And he was like, well, I've just been lied to my whole life. I'd have to see it with my own two eyes. And I was like, that's doable. So you're telling me if we took you up into space and you saw the Earth, then you'd believe it was round? He's like, no. Why not? Well, they got curved glass on those space helmets. And it refracts the light, makes it look round so you see what they want you to see. Who's they? The landscapers? Like... Also, where do you get off using refracts? That's a science word. Those are our words. You don't get to use our words. Refracts, please. I was like, so what are you telling me, man? That the only way for you to believe the Earth is round is to go into space and take your helmet off? So you see it with your own two eyes? And he thought, he's like, yeah, that would do it. Some problems solve themselves, guys. I don't know. Maybe I was stressing for no reason. I can't think of anything more poetic. That's fantastic. A flat earther goes into space, takes the helmet off, sees that he was indeed wrong, and that we have a wonderful blue marble. The beauty of it makes him cry a small tear, which crystallizes and floats into the void. His blood would start boiling, which is common when conspiracy theorists are proven wrong. And then explosive decompression, right? That's the best. That means he saw the Earth was round, and it literally blew his mind. I love anti-vaxxers, man. Anti-vaxxers. We got any anti-vaxxers here? Woo! Get him! No, I'm just kidding. cheese plate anti-vaxxer, that tracks. That's I love the new anti-vaxxers, man, because the new ones pushed all the old ones out, you know? Like, there's only enough room for so much stupid in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, the old ones, what did they used to say? They said vaccines caused autism, right? Firstly, what's the big deal with a little bit of autism, okay? I used to be a programmer for my day job. Very nice people. And secondly, it's a spectrum, right? Autism spectrum disorder. So chances are, in a room of this size, several of us have a touch of the tism, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like you'd say in the old country, a touch of the tism to you. And you'd kiss the Blarney Stone and avoid eye contact the rest of the day. I love these new anti-vaxxers, though, because they go the extra mile to make it entertaining for me. Because all you really got to say, I'm not one of those guys that's going to attack you about anything. All you got to tell me is, it's new. If a vaccine's new, that's a good enough reason. That's good enough. But everyone comes up to me after the show, it's like, Seth, did you know? Nothing good ever comes after, did you know? It's just drunk uncle after that, you know? Like, I'm kind of surprised they can make it to my shows. They're spending so much money on tinfoil hats. Well, they come up, they're like, did you know that Bill Gates is trying to put a 5G chip in your arm? You don't want that? I personally want that. I can't afford it. I would love a free 5G chip, you know? Have some bad call quality, just raise the old vaccine arm. See if you get a little bit better signal up in here. Can you hear me now? That's why I think we should just give a placebo shot to all the anti-vaxxers. Just put their mind at ease a little bit, you know? If they're one of the autism people, doesn't cause autism, because it never did, right? And if they're one of the 5G chip people, cancels your Verizon plan. You're good. You say, Seth, you're just gonna give people a placebo? You're just gonna give them a shot of saline? That seems dishonest to me. Well, I call it a solution. Chemistry, come on. I am a little bit worried telling these jokes, especially at Dry Bar, that I'm going to go out in the parking lot after the show. There's going to be some crazy Karen anti-vaxxer just sitting there in the shadows, just waiting for me. Comes up and just like shanks me with a syringe full of measles or something. And then I remembered I don't have to worry because I'm vaccinated. That's it for me, you guys. Thanks so much.